Hello art friends, my name is Anoosha Syed and I'm a picture book author and illustrator. As you're working in the picture book industry, you might come across some words that you have never seen before. Maybe your editor asks who you want to send your arts to, or your art director asks for your opinion on the trim size. If you don't know what these words mean and you wish there was a picture book dictionary out there somewhere, then you've come to the right place. In this video, we're going to be talking about the anatomy of a picture book and going over some important publishing vocabulary. Let's go. In my last video, we talked about the difference between different types of books within the publishing industry, so things like chapter books, sport books, picture books, and so on. If you haven't seen episode 1 already, definitely check that out. Jacket. A desk jacket is a removable paper cover that keeps a book clean and protected from dirt, grime, and oil. It wraps around the back and has 2 flaps that fold inside. The front flap includes a brief description of the book and perhaps a review, while the back flap contains the author and illustrator photos and biographies. Paperbacks and board books never have a jacket. Jackets can only be found on hardcover books, however, it is possible to have a hardcover without a jacket. Besides protecting the book, the jacket also makes the book look more luxurious, and you can have a lot of fun with the design of a jacket to really entice readers to read. So, adding things like spot gloss, or emboss, holographic, or gold foil. Case. The case wrap is the actual cover of the book, which is physically attached to it, and this can be found underneath the jacket. The artwork can be identical to the jacket art, but this is definitely an opportunity to be creative. The cool thing is that sometimes the jacket and case covers will have completely different artwork. Case reveals are always a lovely surprise because you never know what you're going to find and it feels like a little secret. You also don't need to include the title on the case because it's not the main cover, and instead you can have fun with a completely illustrated cover. Page count. As I mentioned in my last video, picture books are generally 32 pages long, but the pages can come in any multiples of 8. So 16, 24, 32, 40, or 48, and so on. This is because of how the books are printed. Remember that if you have a 32-page book, that does not mean you will have 32 pages to tell a story. Some of those pages will be used for your front matter and your end pages. End papers. End papers, also known as end pages, are pasted pages at the beginning and end of the book on the other side of the cover. These will usually only be found in hardcover books because these papers are used to hold the interior pages onto the cover. However, some picture books can have end papers purely for aesthetic reasons, even if they aren't technically needed. End papers can be a simple flat color. You can find an illustrated pattern related to the book, or occasionally a full color illustration. This, however, is dependent on the 2 ways a book can be actually made. Self-ended books. In these, end papers are printed on the same paper as the rest of the book and are included in your usual 32-page count in a picture book. In contrast, in separate-ended books, the end papers are printed on a separate paper than the rest of the book and is not counted in the 32-page count. A good way to tell the difference is by using your hands. If I pick up a book and touch the first 2 loose pages and they feel the same, then they are probably self-ended. If the pages are made out of 2 different types of paper, then they are separate-ended. This book, for example, has a matte paper for the ends and a nice glossy paper for the interior pages. You can also tell that it's separate-ended because the end papers have a 2-color pattern instead of a full color. In contrast, this self-ended book has a full color illustration. So, what are the benefits of doing one type of book or the other? You can see with separate ends, you have more pages you can use for your actual story, since some of these pages are not being used for the end papers. This can be very helpful if your story is getting too long and you need those extra pages. On the other hand, having full color end papers can be really fun and used to add some fun details to your book. You can find more information about this topic at Tara Lazar's blog post on picture book construction and Editorial Anonymous's post of picture book construction. Front matter. Everything before the actual story is called the front matter. This includes the following: copyright info. This has the information on the publisher, the printing year, the copyright information, the ISBN number, and what tools the artist used for the book. The ISBN, or the International Standard Book Number, is a unique number assigned to each book. It is used by publishers, booksellers, and libraries to easily identify books for ordering and stocking purposes. Dedication, which is when the author and/or illustrator dedicates the book to a specific person or people. The title page, which has the title, the author and illustrator's names, and the publisher. Depending on the page count, all of this front matter information can all have their own individual pages or be combined together. Spine. The spine is the literal glue holding your book together. It is the outside edge of the book where the pages are gathered and bound together. This is the part you'll see when your book is on the shelf, and will have the title on it, the author and illustrator, and the publisher name. Gutter. When you open up a book, the middle crease where your pages intersect is called the gutter. If you want a horrible analogy, the spine is your elbow and then the gutter is the inside of your elbow. Some books will be able to open up completely flat if it is saddle stitched without a spine, for example this board book. You'll notice that the entire illustration spread is flat and you can see everything clearly. However, if it is a hardcover book, the pages will curve away from the spine, creating a deep indentation and a gutter. This can cause issues when you're illustrating a spread. A lot of information can get lost in the gutter, so it's crucial to design your spread with that in mind. Make sure you don't have any important elements in the middle of your spread, like faces, otherwise they'll either be distorted or disappear completely in the gutter. Within a book, you can have several types of illustrations. You can have spreads, spots, vignettes, and full-page illustrations. These all serve different purposes, but this will be the topic of another video. Back matter. This is supplemental material at the end of the book. This can include educational resources for parents and teachers, a glossary, interviews, photos, timelines, biographies, and author's notes. This is totally optional, and I usually find these at the end of nonfiction books or ones based on true stories. Trim size. This is the actual size of the book, like 8.5 inches by 11 inches. However, as an illustrator, you'll be working slightly larger than that. The bleed is the area of the canvas that extends past the book that will be cut off after printing. This could be as small as 0.25 inches all around your canvas. The bleed and trim size is usually determined by your publisher, though I was able to choose the dimensions of my author-illustrator book. If you are self-publishing, you'd need to research what dimensions your printer requires. Book dummy. When you are pitching a book to a publisher, you submit a rough draft called a book dummy. This would be your manuscript set up with all of your sketched interiors and a few sample illustrated pages to give an idea of the final art style. For more information on how to pitch a book, check out my video, How I Got My Picture Book Deal. Proofs. These are the loose pages of the book printed using the same paper and dimensions as the final book, but not trimmed or bound yet. These are sometimes sent to the illustrator to get a closer look at the pages to make sure everything looks okay before the final printing. I would inspect the proofs to see if there are any mistakes I missed in the artwork, and more importantly, to confirm the printing was accurate. If the colors were inaccurate to my art, for example, I would let the publisher know to fix that for the final book. ARCs. Advanced reader copies, also known as ARCs, are an early copy of your book. These are sent to various people to generate publicity before the final publication of the book. You can send ARCs to booksellers, reviewers, influencers, publishing friends, and award committees. Phew! I hope you guys enjoyed this little video and that maybe you learned a new thing or two. In episode 3, I'm going to be going over the definitions and things of the picture book industry as a whole and kind of how everything works. So things like what an imprint is, who actually works at a publishing house, like what the difference between an editor, a designer, and an art director is, and so much more. If you guys have any ideas for other little short topics I could cover, please let me know in the comments and let me know if you think I've missed something too. Anyway guys, thanks so much. Tune into the next video and subscribe if you haven't. Bye bye.